Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Sampson Bacchus, and this evening I'm excited to be presenting to you on the topic mental health, subtopic stress and sleep as they relate to each other, and mental health on a whole. And you think about the word stress, you think about a lot of times you may think of chaos, something that's causing you harm or pain. And then when you think about sleep, you're thinking about rest, something that's peaceful and calm. As this little kitty right here. That's why I chose that image. Because, he's just relaxing and, he's just being at peace and resting. Now, the two are totally opposite to each other. Stress and sleep, totally opposite to each other, but yet they impact each other, they influence each other, and they affect our overall mental health. So this evening we're going to be talking about those topics. Before I start, for those that don't know me, I mentioned my name earlier. So I am a social worker. I've had experiences working with youths in foster care. I've worked with shelter within shelter settings as a social worker with various populations such as men, maternity, women, family. Currently, I am a professor. I teach within the social work department. I'm also the director of field education for social work. I am the founder of Takum, which is taking care of our mental health. And also, as it states here, I'm a wellness coach, writer, author, and dissertation coach. So I dabble in a lot of different things. They said once you don't keep your mind busy, your mind will find other things for you to do, and sometimes that's not so positive. So I tend to keep myself very busy. In my company, Takum, I do a lot of wellness books, presentations, workshops such as this, meet with individuals for assessment, individuals who are struggling with mental health, meet with them for assessment, and then also therapy referral. So that's just in a nutshell some of the things that I do. All right. I'm gonna throw the first question out there. What is the difference between sleep and rest? What is the difference between sleep and rest? Are they the same thing or is it something different? For me, I from early on, when I sleep, I like to go to bed early. I like to rest first before I go to sleep. So, what is the difference between sleep and rest? So we know that both sleep and rest are crucial for our physical and mental health. So physical and mental health together, one impacts the other. If your mental health is impacted, eventually it's going to impact your physical health. So talking about rest, referring to rest is a state of physical and mental relaxation. While resting, you can be conscious and aware and engage in activities. So you can be resting and listening to music. You can be resting and journaling. You can be resting and writing poetry. Okay, those are all form of rest. Sleep now is an unconscious state where the body and the brain undergo essential restorative process. So while you're sleeping, your body is getting that time to rest, your brain is getting that time to relax and to restore. So rest again. So rest is a conscious state of being. You're aware and can interact with your surrounding while you're resting. As I mentioned earlier, you can journal while you're resting. You can listen to music while you're resting. All right. It's a form of relaxation. So you're reducing physical and mental strain. You're giving your body that opportunity to rejuvenate. It can occur in various forms, so such as activities, such as quiet time, such as light physical activities. And what's the purpose? Why are we resting? Why are we not going? That may sound like a silly question, but sometimes people don't stop to rest. They don't stop to rest. They wait until their bodies are speaking to tell to them. And oftentimes when you're waiting on your body to tell you you need to sit down someplace, it's usually when you're in danger. All right. So the purpose for resting is that it helps to reduce stress. It helps to prevent injuries. And of course, it's going to improve our overall performances. So we need to listen to our bodies. Oftentimes, we do not listen to our bodies. So we need to start listening to our bodies and engaging in rest. It can be throughout the days in whichever form you choose to do. And then, of course, sleep. So it's unconscious. All right. So you're not aware of your surrounding. It's a restorative process. Your body is being repaired. Your body is being restored. Your brain is able to process information. How many of you, when you wake up in the morning, you're more clear, your thought process is more clear. You have a lot of innovative ideas when you just wake up. I know for me, that works a lot. When I wake up in the morning, I have all my nice, fresh ideas, all my innovative ideas of things that I would like to do or things that I would like to work on because my brain has had time to rest and to process information, right? There's different stages when you're sleeping. So you have the wake sleep, light sleep, deep sleep, and of course the REM sleep. Right. So the purpose, of course, the purpose is sleep is essential. We know that sleep is essential for our mental health, of course, for our growth, development, and cognitive functioning. A lot of times when we hear this information, we think about babies. Oh, babies need sleep to grow and to develop. But so do adults. So do teenagers. So do the elderly population. Sleep is essential and everyone needs sleep. But a lot of times as adults, we're focusing on working, we're focusing on getting things done and we're not getting enough sleep. So we do need to get enough sleep so that we can able to acquire all of these things mentioned. Here's another question. How many hours of sleep do you get each night? And be honest, how many hours of sleep do you get each night? I know people who go on 5 hours sleep for months. And after a while, the body is it's not enough. It's not enough. From early on, if you speak to any of my family members, they will tell you I'm an early sleeper. I can if I go to bed, if I can go to bed 9 o'clock at night, I will take it at 9 o'clock at night. So I try to go to bed between 9:30, 10, the latest. I try to push to get my 8 hour of sleep. Not only now that I'm older, but I've always been this way. From the time I was like a teenager, I've always tried to go to bed early enough to get my 8 hours. Now, of course, in life, things happen. You might have a function that you're gonna go to, and that may interrupt your sleep routine. But on average, we need to be getting enough sleep that the body requires. So here are some recommendations. Did you know that adults 18 to 64 years old, it's recommended that you get 7 to 9 hours sleep? 7 to 9 hours sleep. Now, show of hands, how many of you are getting 7 to 9 hours sleep most nights? I won't say every night, but most nights. How many of you are getting 7 to 9 hours sleep? And then 65 years and older, 7 to 8 hours. Now, jump down to the babies. I know this is not going to be surprising because when we think about sleep, we're thinking about, oh, the baby needs this amount of hours of sleep, or the toddler needs a nap during the day, and then the toddler needs to go to bed early. So when we're thinking about toddlers and babies, it's not surprising because we're always making sure that they get the hours of sleep that they need. But when it comes to adults and older adults, we're not getting the sleep. And even this age group down in the bottom, the teenagers, most of them, many of them are not getting 8 to 10 hours sleep. Why? They're up late at night, they're watching games, they're on YouTube and doing all sorts of different things when they should be getting 8 to 10 hours sleep. Okay, so it seems like the medium here is 8 hours that everyone should be getting. What is stress? What is stress? I like to call it the little big word. What exactly is stress? Because sometimes we use it out of context. That's why I call it the little big word. We can be looking for an outfit to wear to work and be like, oh my God, I'm so stressed out. I can't find an outfit to wear to work. Or you can really be having a stressful situation. Okay. Um, this book, Successfully Manage Stress and Avoid Burnout. This is a book I wrote, and parts of it is pulled from my dissertation. My research focus, I focus a lot on stress and I focus a lot on stress management. So out of that, I pull a little bit information and I created this book to successfully manage stress and avoid burnout. Because truth be told, if you're not managing your stress, stress can lead to burnout. And that statement, stress kills, it is true. If you're not managing your stress, it can lead to physical health and impact your overall well-being. And ultimately, it can lead to your death. Right. So, what exactly is stress? It's an external stimulus. So, it's something in your environment, something in your environment that's causing you pain, it's causing you tension, it's causing you strain, it's impacting your well being. So, that is stress. Stress can be occurring in your internal environment, in your home, right? It can be your partner in your home, it can be your children in your home, it can be some factor in your home that's causing you pain. Or it can be your external environment, such as where you live. Such as where you live. We've heard stories of people who live in communities that actually cause cancer or communities that have high rates of crimes. All right. So something in your internal environment or in your external environment can cause you to stress. Now, here are things, there are a lot of factors that can cause a person to stress, but research have shown that these are some of the top things that cause people to stress. Right on top is money, or should I say lack thereof money. Because if you don't have money, you can't get your basic necessities. You don't have money, you can't get food, you can't get shelter. Okay, and if our basic needs are not met, of course, we're going to be able to stress out. We're going to be stressing out. If you're a parent and you're not able to get money to take care of your children or take care of your household, take care of what you need on a daily basis, that's going to cause you to stress. Sleep, we spoke about sleep a couple of slides earlier. Um, Not getting the adequate amount of sleep can actually cause somebody to stress because the body is not getting the time to rejuvenate. The body is not getting time to rejuvenate and recreate and all of those good things. He's not getting time to rest and relax. All right. Job pressure, depending on the type of job that you do, there can be a lot of job pressure from whatever is going on in that workplace. So that can cause a person to stress. When you're not successfully managing the stress, it can lead to job burnout. Burnout is causing a person to stress. Poor nutrition, you're not eating right. You're doing so much and you're just going on fast food. So poor nutrition can cause a person to stress. Traffic congestion. And we've seen the horror stories, whether it's in person or whether it's you see a video on social media of what traffic congestions can cause. People are frustrated, people are acting out, people are doing a lot of crazy things that can cause somebody to stress. Social media overload, my goodness. Especially in our young people, social media overload is a thing. It's a big thing. Sometimes we have to unplug. We need to unplug. Social media is a good thing, and it can also be a bad thing if it's not managed well, if it's not managed the right way. I use social media a lot to promote my business, but then there are times when I unplug. There are times when I don't look at it for a little bit. There are times when I take like a week off or so, we need to unplug. There's, they have that saying going around that this is just such a smart generation because they have so much access, but they're so smart and have so much access that it's dumbing them down. And that's a thing. So sometimes we need to unplug. Sometimes we need to have a conversation with somebody in front of you, not only on social media. Um, a lot of our youths now growing up, most of their friends are on social media. It's not in person. They're having that interaction mostly on social media platforms. So sometimes it can be an overload, and we just need to unplug and engage with the people who are around us. Okay. Or sometimes just go to the park, go out to the park and take a walk, ride a bike, engage in nature, take some deep breaths. Okay. Stress, continuing on with stress. Stress is not always a bad thing. Stress is, now that may sound crazy, but stress is not always a bad thing. We have two forms of stress, this eustress and distress. Eustress. So think about doing something. You're getting ready to buy a house. You're getting ready to start a new job. You have an exam that you're gonna take. You do get some form of anxiety, some form of pressure, some form of, you're anxious because you're gonna do this thing. And then once it's done, you feel that form of relief. You're happy that I've gotten over that. That's eustress. So that's a positive form of stress. And then distress now is pain and sorrow. Something has caused you hurt and pain. That can be, you're in an abusive relationship. You're facing workplace bully. Um, you're in pain and sorrow from something, some type of situation, some type of crisis. That's distress. All right. So eustress, positive form of stress, distress, which is the pain and the sorrow, and it can result in both mental and physical suffering. So for stress, we have to have coping mechanism. We have to have coping mechanism. Everyone copes differently. Everyone copes differently. Everyone handles the same situation differently. So how I may handle a situation, someone else is not going to handle a situation the same way. A negative coping mechanism can be that, I'm so stressed out from work and I come home and I drink myself to sleep. I have alcohol to the point that all I have to do is pass out. That's a negative form of coping mechanism. Or, I'm smoking weed. And we see that a lot with people who are stressed out or people who have mental health diagnosis, and they don't want to take the medication. So they smoke weed, and weed is usually a temporary form of relief. It gives them a temporary form of relief, and it's not really doing anything. It's just masking. It's masking the situation, and ultimately, it's going to get worse because they are not dealing with that situation the way they should. Now, the positive coping mechanism can be that I am stressed out from work and I come home and I listen to some jazz music. So that's a positive form of coping mechanism. So think about a stressful situation that you may be going through, or a stressful situation that you may have gone through, and what form of coping mechanism did you apply? Was it a positive coping mechanism, or was it a negative coping mechanism? Okay, so we must learn to successfully manage your stress. All right. Stress, it's gonna come at some point in life. All right. So it's either you've overcome something stressful, you're heading into something stressful, or you're experiencing something stressful right now. Self-care practices is essential. All right. Self-care does not have to be something huge, something big. Self-care can be as simple as going for a walk and sitting in the park and doing, a nice deep breathing exercise, or praying. You're praying and you're casting that burden onto God, saying, God, this is just too much for me. So I'm casting it onto you and I'm asking you to take control, right? Deep breathing exercise, just doing that 5, 5, 5, 5 or 4, 4, 4, meaning 5 seconds. Deep breathe in for 5 seconds, hold it for 5 seconds, and then breathe out for 5 seconds. Whichever one suits you, you can choose. You can do it for 4 seconds, 5 seconds, whichever one suits you. Exercise, of course, walking, riding a bike, jog, run, whichever one works for you. You do that. I like walking. I try jogging. That doesn't really work for me. So I like walking. Journal, writing poems, writing short stories, listening to music, all of those good things. You have to find things that work for you. And then if it doesn't work for you, don't be afraid to change it. Don't be afraid to try new things. The main thing is that you are managing the stress. If you just leave it like that, don't just leave it like that and think that it's going to go away. It's not going to go away. It's just going to escalate. It's just going to evolve. It's just going to get worse. So we must find ways so that we can successfully manage our stress. So after this presentation, I would love for you to actually create a list of little things that you can do, little simple steps. We want to make them realistic and we want to make them manageable. Don't think about things that you know for a fact that you're not going to do it, but yet you're putting it on the list. So make a realistic list of things that you can do to actually manage your stress. And if you need help with that, you can feel free to reach out to me. All right. Remember that everything that we do is a journey, it's a process. All right. Sometimes it's successful from jump, and then sometimes you need to do it over and over again until you get it the right way. All right. Setbacks will happen. So when setbacks happen, do not engage in self-blame. Don't blame yourself. Just restart, refocus. Sometimes you just have to adjust. So sometimes it doesn't mean that the whole process has failed. It just means that you need to readjust. Just adjust it a little bit. Always remember, you don't quit. Don't quit. Just readjust, refocus what you're doing. Like I heard someone said at one point, sometimes you just need to shift the method, in what and how you're applying, right? So maybe the whole plan that you have is not wrong. It's just the method and how you're applying that plan. Positive affirmations. I love positive affirmations. There was a time when I used to have sticky notes with a lot of positive affirmation all over my room. There was a time when I was going through, and when I was going through, I would stick positive affirmation on the sticky notes. I have sticky notes all over. You got this. Today is a better day. Today is a great day. This too shall pass. And I would stick them all over, and they help, right? So every day I strive to be a better version of myself. You're not competing with anybody else. I'm just trying to be a better version of me. Today is the new beginning. Today is the beginning of the rest of my life. All right. What can I do differently? So, what is it that I've done yesterday that I would like to improve? And how can I do that different? Right? I will continue to shine my light. Sometimes when you're shining your light, there are always going to be people around who's trying to dim it. Always going to be people around who's trying to dim your light, right? That's because they see something in you that's threatening, something in you that's threatening to them. So they want to try to dim your light. Don't let anyone dim your light. I know it's easier said than done, but continue to shine your light wherever you are. We are light. We are light, and we are meant to shine our light in darkness. Okay. Opinions of others will not stop me from doing good. So don't let the opinions of others stop you from doing good. You're going to celebrate yourself. All right. Even when others do not wait for somebody else to celebrate you. When you have an accomplishment, when you have a goal, I always tell my students at the end of the semester, you got your A, please go and celebrate yourself. Or, during the semester, if you got an A in a paper, you did something great at work, go and celebrate yourself. And celebrating yourself, you don't have to do something extravagant. It can be something very simple, right? I am where I want to be right now. And if I'm not, I can change this. This means what can I change to get where I need to be? If I need to do career change, what exactly do I need to do? Do I need to go back to school? Do I need to take a continuing education course? What exactly do I need to do? Okay, so you make up your own positive affirmation and whether you want to do sticky notes like I did, or you want to write it in a journal, positive affirmations are very good. And teach these to kids too. Positive affirmation are great for children. Create a self-care checklist for yourself, right? And these are just some examples. Practice gratitude. Always be thankful. Always be thankful for where you are. You're going to improve quality of sleep, exercise, nutrition, and drink water. Drink water on a daily basis. So you can use this one, or you can create a self-care checklist for yourself. Here are some recommended books for mental wellness, right? And these books are all books that I've published, and they're available on Amazon or also on my website. The first one I would recommend is Successfully Manage Stress and Avoid Burnout. The model that's used there is Lazarus and Folksman. And everything that we do, we need a guide, we need a framework, we need a model. It's just like you're doing a recipe for the first time. You're taking that recipe from the initial one, and then you're going to tweak it. Same thing with stress. I use this model, and from that model, I was able to create my own framework and recommendations on how to provide to you and how you can successfully manage your stress before it actually gets to burnout. The second one is 52 weeks of mental wellness. So this is a workbook. It requires you actually doing physical work, either writing or actually going out there in the park or going out wherever I recommend, and doing different activities and how you can reduce your stress and reduce and have healthy mental well-being. I do have various coloring books for all ages, adults and children. Coloring therapy is very essential. Color therapy is very essential. So what it does is that it aids with reducing stress and anxiety. It kind of calms your brain. Could think about it when you're sitting there and you're coloring and you just focus on all of that, all the colors and all the different things that you want to do with your image. It relaxes the brain. It relaxes the brain. It brings your focus just to what you're doing present in front of you, and you're not thinking about anything else. It improves your mindfulness, right? Coloring demands a level of focus, right? So it kind of silences the external distraction, the external noise, and bring your focus into the activity that you're doing. You can do it with yourself, you can do it with your children. It can be a fun fill activities. So these are just some of my recommendations to you. I recommend that you also find your own. One of the things that I do, I love music. I love jazz music. I love soothing jazz music. I love walking on the boardwalk. I love relaxation. If I'm at work, I love my breathing techniques. You breathe in for 4 seconds or 5 seconds, hold for 4 seconds or 5 seconds, and then breathe out for 4 seconds or 5 seconds. So whichever activity works for you, I recommend that you do have some form of activity for mitigating stress. Do not wait until your stress is overwhelming. You want to engage in activities on a daily basis, all right? So you want to make this a part of your livelihood. You want to make managing stress something that you're doing on a daily basis. All right. This is part of your routine. Like on a routine basis, I would listen to music. On a routine basis, I would utilize my wellness workbook. On a routine basis, I would engage in coloring or I would speak to my therapist. I see my therapist once a week. So something that you're doing on a routine basis. You don't want to wait until a stressful situation come and then you're looking around on what can I do? What can I do to manage this stress? Also, you want to identify what exactly is causing you stress. You want to identify that. Is it something in my internal environment? Is it something in my external environment? You want to be specific. Make sure that you're specific in identifying what exactly it is. Once you've identified what exactly it is, you want to have your strategies. Once you've interjected your strategies, you want to measure them. Is it working? All right. Is this working? If it's not working, do I need to change it? And these things you're going to do on a routine basis. Also, remember what may work at one point may not work at another point. So, what may work for one stressful situation may not work for another. So, you may be going through a stress last month. Maybe last month you went through a stressful situation and you use walking, and that worked. But this month you're going through something different and you're walking and it doesn't work. Don't be afraid to try something different. Okay. So there's so many techniques that are available, so many techniques that are available to you. I recommend that you try something. I wish you well on your mental wellness journey. And indeed, it is a journey. Um, we have to intentionally make intentional decisions on a daily basis to successfully manage our stress. I wish you well. I thank you for listening. I would definitely appreciate any type of questions you have, and I'll make it my best to answer. So take care and be well, and I will talk to you soon.